on Thiago with MMA Alliance. Today I'm here with flyweight prospect Carlos Lozoya, who's riding a 6-fight win streak and will be headlining Fury FC 70 later this month. Carlos, how's it going today?
Going great. It's going great.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And, what's it like to be headlining this upcoming fight card for Fury FC, man? I mean, this UFC Fight Pass, there's a big audience, man. What's it going to be like?
I'm excited, but this will be either my fourth or my third time being a main event. So it's not unfamiliar, but it's dope to do it for UFC Fight Pass. So I'm all healthy and I'm ready to go, man. Super excited.
Awesome, man. Good to hear that. Riding a 6-fight win streak, man, having the headliner spot, against another tough prospect, do you feel like you're in prime position for a UFC contract should you perform the way that you want to?
Yeah, 100%. I don't see why not. I was talking to someone else, and they said this fight could have easily been on Contender Series. So totally agree with that, and I think it is like a UFC level fight, and but for sure I think I lost you for a second. For sure I think I'm gonna dominate and hopefully get the finish.
Mm-hmm. And before we talk about this next fight, man, I mean, I believe you had a fight booked in June. You had to pull out of that one, unfortunately. What was the recovery process like for you? And like, when did you get back to 100%?
So it was a long one. The recovery process was really long, but I was able to do like strength and conditioning, and then just like simple drilling, and actually like my recovery, like they gave me this name, and I was like maybe like 60 to 70%, and then but I figured I could probably like recover through my camp, and it worked out perfect because now like I'm not like burnt out, and I'm like very, very strong right now. I'm very, very healthy from all the strength and conditioning I've been doing, the old people PT I've been doing, and no, and I'm still fresh. Like my drilling, it's helped me a lot. The techniques helped me a lot. So the main focus was just keeping my body together, work on my conditioning, and just skill development. So the recovery took a minute, but it's behind me now, and I'm all better now. So it doesn't really matter.
Mhm. Tell me a little bit more about your opponent, Cleveland McLean, man. Like, what do you see from him? What do you like take away from his style and his fights?
He's exciting, dude. Like watching his fights, like he's not in many fights that's like a boring fight. So I know no matter what, like this fight's probably gonna be really exciting. This is gonna be a good one to showcase because he is like kind of a dangerous guy. He is like if I were to give him like a place where he would rather be, it's probably like his striking. It seems like he's more of like he has like a boxing base, I would assume, and he does a few things with his kickboxing that I like, but he's just kind of an explosive like boxer, but he's well rounded with everything. But yeah, I like his style. I like Cleveland's style. He's an exciting guy. He's like if you think about exciting flyweights, he fits that mold very well.
Mhm. How do you see yourself getting your hand raised on October 30th?
At first, they told me it would be 5 rounds and a non-title. I was like, it makes no sense. But I actually I got really excited about it because like if I have 25 minutes, I know I'm gonna finish you. So I definitely think I'm gonna finish Cleveland. I think I'm gonna outstrike him, and I think I'm gonna outgrapple him. So it doesn't really matter where it goes in the fight. It's I could predict as much as I can. I can look at the film as much as I can, but like when we actually fight, things are gonna happen that I might not expect, and uh, I can't say I'm gonna submit him. I can't say I'm gonna knock him out, but I know I'm gonna finish him. I think the 25 minutes is gonna be too much for him, and I think what's gonna win the fight is more than anything is pace. I think the pace of the fight is gonna really wear on him.
Mhm. And this fight, I believe, is the night before Halloween. Are you gonna do any costumes in the walkout to the cage or
Uh,
now?
didn't think about that. No, no, I'm not like that, man. I'm not gonna do any costumes. You know, he if he does one, I'll probably laugh, and you know, it's cool. I wonder if anyone on the entire lineup's gonna do something like that. Nah, I've done something like that before in the past, and I regretted it.
What
So
what was the costume?
so my buddy had this like military ski mask, and he was like, "Hey, dude, I think I talked to you about this last time, but it was in that arena where
Yeah, yeah.
it was like
With the
a cow.
dirt or something.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like all dirt where they had cattle there before. It just smelled like cow dung. And he was like, "Hey, if you walk out to the cage in this mask, I'll do it too." And so I was like, "Okay." So it was like this like military ski mask, and it was funny, but that was the only time I ever did it. And after that, I was like, "Yeah, I'm probably not gonna do that again." So
It's funny, man. It's really funny. You have Bob Marley on your shirt. Are you gonna walk out to his music? Like, what's the plan for your
uh,
walkout song, man?
my walkout song, dude, I love Aerosmith. So like Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith, that's my jam. I love it. I love it. And I love Bob Marley too. I love the vibes. Um, to me, like I just like coming out to music that's like just it's mellow. I like mellow music. I don't get people that like to get like hyped up, like you know, like super like in your face kind of music. I don't like that at all. I like to be calm when I go and fight, and that way I like I'm making smart decisions. But that's me personally.
Mhm.
But yeah, Aerosmith, Sweet Emotion. That's my shit.
Cool, cool. Yeah, for me, it's I think "Dream On" by Aerosmith is
Oh
awesome.
God, yes, I love Dream On too, man. They got some great songs, man. They got some undercover songs that people don't know about. That's like really, really great. But yeah, I love Aerosmith.
Like, you mentioned that you always stay mellow in your fights, but was it always like that for you? Like, before you got into fighting, did you think you had to be all amped up, angry at your opponent? Like, did you ever feel that way in the fight game, or were you just always the mellow guy that's fighting?
Before I started fighting, I wrestled, and when I wrestled, there's this like I remember I used to always listen to Mike Tyson, and he would talk about his training camp. He's like, "I'm terrified of this man. This man, I have dreams of him whooping my ass." And it was like, but when it's fight night, I get more confident, and as I start walking closer to the ring, I start feeling more invincible. And then once I'm in the ring, once I'm in the ring, he's like, "I'm God. Nobody can touch me." So like I try to embody that spirit of like hard training and training camp, and just remembering like this person's like out to kill you, but having that confidence when you get closer to the cage. And I feel like with confidence, it's not like it's not fear driven, because like people like that's what it is. Like people want to amp themselves up. That's like adrenaline. That's like adrenaline is like so related with fear. To me, like I want to stay calm so I can stay focused, and I can see. I feel like when I'm calm, I can see things and I can like analyze better. Um, but yeah, I've always been like that fighting. When I started like doing jiu-jitsu and wrestling, like I would get nervous. I would get very nervous, and like I would get really bad adrenaline dumps. Even my first amateur fight, uh, or actually even my first few professional fights, like my first two, I would get these crazy adrenaline dumps. And then by the time I was like ready to fight, um, I was like already exhausted, and I was like, dang, I gotta manage this. I was like, this can't be a thing. So I've always been like a person that doesn't like that ampnet, like the amp and the hype. I've always been the person to kind of like mellow it down, and it kind of fits my attitude because I'm a pretty mellow guy throughout the day. And yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's gotta be your nickname, Mellow Carlos Lozoya, man.
It's funny. People always think I'm like a pothead or something like that, and I'm like, no, I don't smoke marijuana or anything like that. I'm mellow, I guess. I don't know, maybe.
I wonder what would happen if you actually tried it. Like you would be twice as mellow or three times. Like that would be like a mythical creature, you know?
Dude, no, so the reason why I don't like marijuana is because I get paranoid. So like it's like too much for me. I'm like, I don't like this. So yeah, I get away from being calm. I get like the opposite. I'm like, get away from me, and I just like want to go to sleep and watch TV by myself, you know.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And then one of my last questions was, you're like a fight analyst. I see your videos. You always break down the coolest highlights. Is that something that you want to do in the future for like outlets or even organizations you like the UFC? Like, do you see yourself on the desk analyzing stuff like that?
Heck yeah, because I always done it. So I always done that for fun, like just for myself. I always done it. Like I always did it with jujitsu. I always did it with wrestling. Like even when I was a kid, I would just like I'd watch film because it was like I always learned so much from it. And it's funny because like if you think about it, MMA is like one of the only sports where their professional athletes don't watch film. If you think about it, the highest level of basketball and the highest level of football, they literally like will have like after practice where they study film of old games, and they'll see the routines of like what these coaches were playing, or like they're seeing the plays of the opposite team. They're doing film study, like so common in other big sports like the NFL and NBA, but it's like it's not a thing in MMA. I don't know why, and maybe it's because people don't have time and people don't get paid like that to like, and people aren't like invested in the sport like I am. But I just love it, man. And one day, like someone was like, "Hey, you should maybe you should like actually do like breakdowns." I was like, "That sounds like a great idea," because it's like it's something I already do all the time. And yeah, if I can make a career out of that, because I'm not going to be able to fight forever. I want to build a platform now, so when I'm done fighting, I can perhaps do something like that, you know. But yeah, that's definitely like a goal. That'd be an awesome goal to do that at like the UFC level or something like that. So
Is watching fight tape like is that like a big part of your training camp? Because I mean, you could analyze stuff so well. So like how good is it to your arsenal to know what your opponent's gonna do before they do it, and like how important is fight tape in your training camp?
I think you can like pick out habits. Like I can't like predict what my partner is gonna do because things happen so fast. But I can make like I can force my partner to make bad habits and capitalize off them. Um, but again, like fights are so different. I could like watch film. Like I feel like even like a lot of fighters. I'm not gonna say this about Cleveland, but like a lot of fighters, you know, I heard Israel Adesanya talking, and he was like, a lot of fighters just kind of like, you know, when you have a remote and you're playing the UFC game, they're just button mashing. They're just
Hmm.
doing shit to do shit, and then they get away with it because they're like very athletic. But you can see a huge difference on like the highest level of athletes in MMA is like they systemize positions. So uh, like Kobe Bryant would say, he said, to be unstoppable, you first have to be predictable. And I think that goes a lot with the highest level of athletes. You can literally see the systems that they do. Like Israel Adesanya has a very strong system of leg kick fakes, jabs, and hooks when people come in. Like he has a very particular set of things that he does almost every single fight. And but when you look at other fighters, it's almost like they're button mashing. They're like button mashing their way through a fight. And yeah, is it a big part of my game or a camp? I would say yes and no, because like even when I'm not in camp, I'm doing this still. Like I do a lot of I look at these systems and I steal like the best part of fighters so I can like keep that so I can drill it, you know, and then so I can develop myself. Um, but like when I watch like even guys in the UFC, like it's almost like these guys are just button mashing. Like watch them, it's like almost sometimes it's like what's the word? Like just it's so unpredictable. It's like crazy. It's like too much. It's too intensity. There's no setup with a lot of things some people do. But again, I'm not saying that about Cleveland. I'm just saying that about MMA in general. But yeah, the film study to me, it's just so important. It to me, it's like if you're gonna learn like from the best, or if you're gonna learn from the best athletes in the world, you can steal what they're great at, you know, and every single person has like something they favor. Like Khabib loved wall wrestling, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Israel Adesanya loves managing distance. And like those leg kicks because he's so long. John Jones, he's very similar as Israel. He loves managing distance, and when people come too close, he'll elbow or wrestle. It's just the systems of everything. I love watching that, and it definitely helps me learn.
Awesome, awesome. Well, that's all the questions I had for the great Mellow Carlos Lozoya. Carlos, thank you so much for the time. Is there anything that you want to say to the fans out there watching?
Hey, tune in on October 30th at Fury, because it's gonna be a finish, and hopefully it's gonna be entertaining, and yeah, follow me on Instagram too, Carlos Lozoya MMA.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Carlos. Appreciate the time.
Chris, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, that was a good chat, man. That was honestly one of the best interviews I've done. So
Really?
appreciate that.
Oh, so awesome. I appreciate it.